throw out a disclaimer. I'm not stopping squat every day. I have a close friend of mine. We were kind of talking about it today, and I've been thinking about it myself as well, a few days before this. But I want to start delegating certain days for pushing squats. And I'll break this down. So I think I want to push squats, like do heavier lifts on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. Wednesdays are usually busy for me, so I may change this up. I'm just kind of using this as an example. But I want to squat heavy 3 times a week and then use the off days for active recovery. When Yvon Durick started the squat everyday thing, his philosophy was that if you just did a few heavy triples every single day, then at the end of the week you'd still end up with the same amount of working set volume as you would in a regular training plan. I feel like, I don't want to say he's not progressing. He attempted a PR today, but he's tried a lot of different methods. And I know for me personally, heavy sets of 10 do really well with me. And I'm a big fan of doubles and triples whenever I'm feeling strong. But I kind of want to try something different. And a lot of people say squatting every day ruins your gains. I don't think training is black and white. I think there's way too many variables to try to control, to say that if you did this program you'd be squatting this instead of this right now. I think there's way too many variables just to try to say that you'll be somewhere different if you went a different route. Honestly, I don't think a program would put me any higher than 50 pounds of where I'm at right now. I don't think a lot of you guys realize that I only weigh 150 pounds. I'm 5'5", and I float around between 140 to 155. That's usually where I bounce around throughout the year. And most of the time I feel like I can come in here and pause rep 315 for at least a single, probably 4 days out of the week. On a good day I can definitely rep 315. And to be honest with you, I don't see anybody around here less than, weighing less than 160, repping 315 ATG, no belt, no knee sleeves. I feel like, repping 315 at 150 pounds is already a very advanced lift. So I don't think a program would take me much farther. I think somebody mentioned a while back that if I was on a program, I'd be squatting 500 or something. 500 at 150 is that is unreal. I'm not saying it's impossible. I'm sure it's been done, but for me, with the demand of my job and the sleep schedule I have, and I'm not a professional athlete. Just too many variables in my life to try to manipulate. And for me to reach 500 pounds in the squat, I'd probably have to specialize in squatting. That means no running. I wouldn't really have any energy to push other areas of training. But anyways, I'm gonna try to run this program for a little bit and see if I can reap the benefits of a program of squatting, say 3 times a week. But I want to use the off days to potentially accelerate recovery. I'm a big fan of active recovery, so on the off days, I'm probably gonna hit 100 to 150 reps with the bar, and then take 135 for a very slow 5x5, or something very small like this, or like that. Now this is not going to be a very strict program. Like today, I'm going to try to go heavier today. I've got the lifters out here. It just depends how everything feels. It's been a very long day at work today, and I weighed my tool belt today, and that thing's 30 pounds. I walk around with a 30-pound tool belt on all day. It gets tiring. So I'm gonna try probably a 3x5 with 275 tonight. Just kind of test the waters on how the body feels. And then tomorrow is going to be a very light squat session. I may look into a run tomorrow. Like I said, I'll probably do like a 5x5 with a plate and put in 100 reps or so with the bar just to bring blood flow to the legs. And like I said, potentially accelerate recovery, and then come back in here Friday and put in a decent lift session Friday. I guess that's all I got for you guys. I'm gonna strip this down, try to get warmed up, and then throw on the lifters and get into it. Okay, before I actually get into the workout, there is a few more things I want to add as well. On the heavier days, I'm not sure that I'll be pushing volume or weight necessarily. Like on a Monday, I may, just go for a few heavy singles, like 335, 345 if it's in the tank. And then on another day, on one of the heavier days, I may go like 225 for 20 or 275 for sets of 10. It's just that on the certain days that I want to lift hard, I want to put in the effort. And I don't know if it'll always be heavy weights or like volume. But I think it will be a good way to sort of manage fatigue, especially CNS fatigue. But on top of that, if I come in here and one day is feeling off, then that does not mean I'm going to come in and go heavy the next day. Like if I want to go heavy today, which today is Wednesday, if I wanted to go heavy today and it's not in the tank, that does not mean I'm going to push this workout off until tomorrow. I'm just going to postpone it and allow myself 2 days of recovery and hit the heavy lift session Friday. That's kind of the plan/program I'm looking at now. We'll see how it goes. And I do want to try to start running 2 days a week. I've already ran Sunday, I believe it was. Sunday night. And so I'll run tomorrow night, most likely. And then I'm looking at a heavy lift today and a heavy lift Friday. But yeah, this is not super structured. It's not going to be set in concrete. Just because one day is a dedicated day does not mean I'm going to push the weights that day. And if it's not there in the tank that day, I will try my best to govern myself until I hit the next heavy lift day. But I guess that's all I wanted to add. Time to get into the workout. All right, so the reason that I want to, start running this program is because I'm potentially going to get some different benefits of running a quote-unquote program. But I'm still going to maintain the discipline of squatting every day and potentially have even faster recovery times. Now, I know a lot of people are going to say, this guy's an idiot for thinking he's going to recover faster by squatting every day. But hear me out. We'll look at two different things here. One, Olympic weightlifters. Them guys are training legs 5 days a week. On Mondays, they may be clean and jerking. I don't know if you guys noticed, but a clean involves a front squat. It's a deadlift and a front squat. Well, technically like a deadlift, a high pull, and then a front squat. And then after that session, they're probably going to have a front or a back squat session. And then on Tuesday or Wednesdays, they're probably going to be snatching. Snatching involves a pull and then an overhead squat. And then on Thursday or Friday, they're going to be having another pull and probably some variation of clean or snatch. They're going to practice those movements because those are, competition movements. They're going to practice those or some variation of those at least 4 days a week, most of the time, I think. And those movements require a squat. but nobody tells them that they're squatting too often. And you know, their literal competition movement contains a squat, and then they have squat sessions on top of their clean and jerk and snatch sessions. But also, a 10 by 10 with the bar is not going to hurt you, brother. I can tell you, if 100 reps with the bar is going to damage you any more than a heavy 5 by 5 is, I guess you just need to work out more. I don't know how else to put it. Squatting is a natural movement to start with. Walking. I mean, we walk every day. We don't think anything about it. If you play sports, you probably run within that sport every single day. And people don't tell you to, you know, hey, don't run every day. Well, I mean, people do say that, but that's only if you're actually trying to go run a few miles. If you go down to the basketball court down the road and play with a few neighbors, you know, that running is not going to be bad for you. Make it make sense. What else was it? Oh yeah, if I spend a lot of time, you know, working overhead at my job, am I not supposed to work overhead the next day? Because it's probably going to be required of me. There's just so many things people try to force on you, and if you break it down and try to look at it from different perspectives, it just doesn't make any sense. But yeah, if I'm sore, coming in here and hitting reps with the bar makes me less sore. It brings blood flow and nutrients and flushes out the toxins in my sore muscles. Like I said, brings in new stuff, and therefore that speeds up recovery than if I just sat inside on the couch. I'm gonna hit this set now. This one's for the thumbnail, boys. And that's all I'm gonna do tonight. I'm not trying to jump into dog sessions. You know, I don't want to go all out and then still be really sore by Friday. I'm just trying to put in a little bit more work on these days and then still be able to come in somewhat fresh on the next day. Well, 2 days later. All right then, catch y'all tomorrow.